This was the final heat in San Diego, California. Reigning O'Doul's High Point champion Miss Budweiser cartwheels in the third corner of the first lap, shearing the sponson and virtually destroying the boat. Driver Chip Hanauer, shaken and wet, but unhurt, is out of the race, leaving Mark Tate and Smokin' Joe's to win the event and lead the High Points going into the last race of the season. With that race only 3 weeks away, the Miss Bud team would have to rebuild and repair what insurance adjusters might call a totaled vessel. Rising to the occasion, the crew has patched the Miss Budweiser, and she's here in Honolulu. But is she strong enough to go the distance in its most important race of the year? As a matter of fact, the seas are rather rough. That's going to play an important part in this final race of the season for the unlimited hydroplanes. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen. Welcome to Pearl Harbor, Ford Island to be exact, where today the action should be intense because this is the tightest finish we have ever seen going into the last race of the season. And one of the boats involved is this boat. You saw at the very beginning of the show this boat destructing just 3 weeks ago. Remember, it takes a week to get the boats over here. So basically, in 2 weeks, they reconstructed, rebuilt the Miss Budweiser from this point, midway on the wing in the front, all the way back to the back third on this side. It was totally destroyed. The interesting thing is, it seems to have come out better than the boat originally was. For more on that story, let's talk to Steve Montgomery.
Indeed, the Budweiser racing team arrived here in the Ford Island pit area at Pearl Harbor, repaired and very, very fast. Chip Hanauer's qualifying speed, 172.358 miles per hour, his fastest of the season. In fact, the fastest lap ever by an unlimited hydroplane. And that was done here on Pearl Harbor in a 20-mile-an-hour wind, very rough water conditions. So the Smokin' Joe's racing team, after losing 10 points of their advantage to Budweiser in qualifying, will start the day with a 29-point lead. Now, in many forms of motorsports like Formula One, a 29-point lead would be insurmountable. In American Powerboat Association scoring, it's virtually a tie, and here's why. In any heat of racing, points are awarded 400 for first place, 300 for second, and so on. A driver having a perfect day, winning 3 preliminaries and the final, can score 1,600 points in one day. Both Tate and Hanauer have had perfect days here in the 1995 season. It's obvious that should either boat win here in Hawaii, he will also win the national championship. Should someone else win, the mathematical possibilities are endless. We mentioned the 172-mile-per-hour lap run by Chip Hanauer. Remember, that was with a qualifying setup. Competition speeds will not be that high. Jim Hendrick has more on that.
Steve, a man who would know about that is the owner of the T-Plus, Jim Harvey. Jim, there is difference between competitive speeds and, of course, the qualifying speeds. And your boat holds the competition lap speed.
Yes, all week long, the other boats have been running qualifying speeds. Today, they're going to have to run competition speeds. Our qualifying speed was very close to our competition speed, so it should be a very good race for the T-Plus.
Actually, now this is the T-Plus course, they say. The turns are wide. You could be a spoiler.
We won here 2 years ago, and it's a long day, and we hope to be there in the finish.
The T-Plus team, of course, could be the spoiler. They won this event in 1993.
In Hawaii, the JN Automotive Hydro Fest. The boats are out on the course right now. Let's take a look at the points as they come into this race, Jim.
These are the points, the way they stood after San Diego. Now it's down the 29-point difference between the top two. Pico's American Dream, Miss Columbia Communications, T-Plus Engine Treatment round out the top 5. In lane number 1 for Heat 1A, it'll be Chip Hanauer in the Miss Budweiser. In lane 2, the Nemesis, Smokin' Joe's right next to him with Mark Tate. In lane 3, Dave Vilwalk, and he has the challenge today in Pico's American Dream. The T-Plus Engine Treatment. They say this is his course. We'll find out. Steve David will drive.
The boats are coming down now, looking for the green flag to fly off the starter's stand. There it goes, and they're off. Right off the bat, it is Miss Budweiser in lane number 1. Let's see if she can hold it through the turn. She has a lesser field to run. In other words, lesser distance because of the inside course. Right on the outside hip is the Smokin' Joe's, and coming up in third place is Pico's. Bernie Little rooting for his boat off the shoreline. There is the Miss Budweiser. She takes command on the back stretch. Miss Budweiser with Chip Hanauer.
And, of course, right behind him is the Smokin' Joe's, and this is the way they're going head-to-head. Bernie Little said that he wanted to draw Smokin' Joe's right off the bat because a win here would take that 29-point deficit away and turn it to a 71-point profit.
We'll see if they can hold on to that. This is a rough course at times. They've got to be very alert to the water conditions. You can see Miss Budweiser bouncing out a little bit. Less bounce for the Smokin' Joes, but also at this point, less speed. Mark Tate is still trying to catch the leader. Good run for the Red Rocket. Miss Budweiser taking control right off the start line, holding it through the first turn and taking it on the backstretch down. Now in lap number 2, doing a fine job, still in command.
159 miles an hour for the Miss Budweiser on lap number 1 as we look at our second place boat, Smokin' Joe's. And it's amazing that the top 4 qualifiers are in this heat. Looks like a final right off the start.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're watching 4 of the best hydroplanes in the world. Now, the underside of the hydroplanes is going to be the topic on the Eagle Snacks Performance Corner coming up a little later on. I think you're going to be amazed at how these boats actually operate on the underside. Here comes the checkered flag out for the Miss Budweiser. Chip Hanauer wanted to match up with Smokin' Joe's in the first race of the day. He did, and he won. Chip Hanauer takes it in the Miss Budweiser. Smokin' Joe's comes in second place. Let's check the results on the Fruit of the Loom board.
And you can see that the Miss Budweiser, by picking up 400 points and 300 for Smokin' Joe's, a 100-point difference now puts Bud in the lead by 71 points.
The new High Points leader, Steve Montgomery, is standing by with Chip Hanauer.
Chip, you needed to draw him, race him, and beat him. All those things happened. That's a pretty good start for your day.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, the key word there is start. It's a start of a day. You know, we had a day started like this a month ago in San Diego, and it ended in disaster. So hopefully this will end up better.
Let's run down the dock to Jim Hendricks standing by with Mark Tate.
Still lots of racing left, but you have to hope to draw Budweiser again.
Well, you know, we got to beat them somewhere down the road if one of the preliminary heats were in the final, and you know, that's just the way it is. That's racing, and we need to find a little speed, and you know, stranger things have happened. Obviously, we don't have the speed here today, but it's still a boat race, and a lot of things happen in racing.
It'll be Fred Leland's Miss Columbia Communications in lane 1. The driver is Mark Evans. In lane number 2, it'll be Ron Jones Jr.'s Miss Outrigger, driven by Scott Pierce. Bob Fendler, Appian Renegade, it's from Hawaii. Tom Henley is the driver, and Mike Jones on the outside in Miss JN Automotive. All the drivers, by the way, are from the state of Washington in this one, Dick.
It'll be good competition. They've raced together a long time, and there's the green flag, and we're off and running. Mark Evans on the inside. Lap number 1 is the boat that's going to be favored going down into turn number 1, which is also known as the Aloha Stadium turn. There is Mark Evans driving the Miss Columbia Communications boat. He has got himself a lead over Scott Pierce and the Miss Outrigger. Pierce trying to get him on the outside. He's on the outside of that rooster tail.
The wind conditions, Dick, are starting to pick up as you see Scotty Pierce and Miss Outrigger try to challenge the Miss Columbia Communications, and then drops off as Mark Evans puts the pedal to the metal, so to speak, coming down the back chute. The wind could be a factor if it shifts around.
Right now, Scotty Pierce wants to concentrate on the leader, but he better concentrate on the man to his right, and that's Appian Renegade, Tom Henley. Tom came up there and caught him on the turn momentarily. Scott was able to get a little speed on him on the straightaway. Right now, you see him through the rooster tail of this boat, which is, of course, the Miss Columbia Communication, Mark Evans. He took it right off the start line.
Our Zodiac lap speed, 146 mile an hour from Miss Columbia Communications.
Now we're watching very closely first and second place. Mark Evans is your leader. Scott Pierce is in second place in the Miss Outrigger. And we are noting that the Miss Outrigger is chipping away at the lead margin. So we've got to be attuned to the fact, as does Mark Evans, that he's got a boat coming up on him. Scotty seems to have settled it down in second place, and he's starting to get a little more speed.
5 miles an hour difference between the two leaders, which is the Miss Columbia Communications and the Miss Outrigger Hotel. But you're right, Scotty Pierce is trying to come up in the rooster tail. You can see the spray of this boat coming back over his cockpit.
The first time they went into the Aloha Stadium turn, Scotty Pierce was able to come up and just get on the outside hip of the lead boat. Now, whether or not he's got enough time left in this 3-lap race to catch the leader, that I don't know, but he is chipping away at it, and he's at least proving to himself he's got speed and can come back a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing, they're both at 140 mile an hour the second lap. That is Tom Henley from Seattle driving the Hawaiian entry.
There's Mike Jones and Lori Jones' boat, the boat owned by his wife. And that boat is for this race known as the Miss JN Automotive, which happens to be the host boat, if you will, for this occasion in Honolulu. Your lead boat, Mark Evans. He's doing a good job at driving. We've said many times in the other shows how Mark Evans is the kind of driver that gets a lot out of lesser equipment. This boat has gotten better and better through the year. Mark has gotten every ounce out of it. It'll continue to improve as we go to next season.
Half a lap to go, Dick, and Scotty Pearson, Miss Outrigger, is going to challenge on this final turn.
He is in the rooster tail as they come through the Pearl City turn. There goes Mark Evans, and watch closely. There is Scott Pierce. Will he have enough power to do it? I don't think so this time around, but I do think he proved to himself that he could get the speed when he wanted it. We'll see what he does with it the rest of the day. Here comes the checkered flag out for Mark Evans. That's a great way to start the day for Mark Evans in the Miss Columbia Communications. Scotty Pierce will take second place. He did a good job at chipping away at that lead. Maybe he'll start a little bit faster next time and try to hold it up there. As they come across the finish line, your final results: Mark Evans finishing in Miss Columbia Communications, followed by the Miss Outrigger, Scott Pierce, then Appian Renegade, and JN Automotive in fourth. All boats finished the heat. Now take a look at the palm trees here. We're getting more than just a little tropical breeze on this course. Let's go down to Steve.
Mark, it's a little windy still. How is the boat ride?
It was surprisingly well. We do have a good rough water boat, and it rode real well. I was concerned, but after watching the boys in the first heat, we figured we had a good shot at it. So the Columbia Communications boat just ran flat as can be and cruised, and we came into a good victory.
Jim Hendrick?
Scotty, one more lap. You might have had him.
Yeah, I think we were catching them. We had some shoot speed on them, and we were able to get some pretty good corners, you know, long outside's a long way around, but it's the best our boats run all year, so I'm real happy with that.
The draw for Heat 2A is complete. Smokin' Joe's and Budweiser face off again. We'll see how they do. We'll be right back. Once again, see Smokin' Joe and Miss Budweiser go head-to-head. This time, Mark Tate has the inside lane.
And Miss Budweiser in lane 2. Appian Renegade lane 3. And the title sponsor, the Miss JN Automotive, had lane number 4 picked out. But they had first choice for lane 1. Let's go down to Steve for that story.
Bob, your team had first lane choice. You chose to go way outside.
We're trying to survive the race and keep the salt out of our motors and finish the season on a positive note.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, that's a little unusual strategy that we haven't seen so far on the circuit this season, but let's see how it pays off for them as they come down for the green flag. Smokin' Joe's trying to lead them across. Actually, JN Automotive takes the lead on the start, but right away, Miss Budweiser busts out in lane number 2, heading down into the Aloha Stadium turn. Miss Budweiser has the lead.
It's lesson time right now for both these boats as you look at the Budweiser coming off the corner and starting to outdistance the Smokin' Joe's. If the Bud can maintain that speed in lane 2, the Smokin' Joe's is going to have a problem today.
I think he knows that too, and Mark Tate has got to be very careful to hold it in lane number 1. If he slips out, he's going to be into the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser. We've said many times those rooster tails are equivalent to 9 tons of water, and the boat will treat it just like solid water. So the Miss Budweiser now in the lead, and you can see holding his lane beautifully, but he's not going to give any outs at all to the Smokin' Joe's, who, as he came around the turn, bounced a little bit, sort of took a little air underneath the hull and slid out just a bit. Mark got it back down into the water and held his lane perfectly. Now you can see the distance between first and second. The yellow and purple boat in second place. That's the boat to watch to see if he can chip away at the Red Rocket in the lead.
The acceleration of Miss Budweiser off of corner number 4 was really something to see, but right now you can see the Smokin' Joe's pulls on the inside and starts to cut the distance down again.
He's really driving a very smart race. He hasn't given any quarter at all to the Miss Budweiser. Where Chip Hanauer really got the advantage was on the start. He shot out in lane number 2 before they got down into the first turn. He was solidly in the lead. Right now it is a catch-up game for Mark Tate and the Smokin' Joe's. He's got a good ride in the boat. He told me, though, they haven't quite gotten the speed out of the boat yet that they want, and obviously here they want just a little bit more to keep up with and then possibly pass the Red Rocket known as the Miss Budweiser.
The Zodiac lap speed, and get this, both boats, the Budweiser and Smokin' Joe's, 155 mile an hour on this lap.
Well, they're maxing it out. They're right up on the edge of that envelope right now, and it's a question of whether you go a little bit harder or not. I think Chip Hanauer has to be recalling what happened to him in San Diego, California. We saw that at the very start of the show when this very boat that he's driving now absolutely destroyed on the course in a cartwheel maneuver. They rebuilt the boat, and Mark Tate even said, boy, he said they got a better boat on the rebuild than they had before, and we're seeing proof of that today.
Dick, let's tell the viewers today that if it maintains position with Miss Budweiser, who's not only rebuilt but outdistancing and running away from the Smoking Joes at this point, the difference between first and second is 100 points. That would put the Miss Budweiser for the Eagle Snacks O'Doul's high point chase 171 points ahead.
And remember, they only have 2 more races here in Honolulu to finish the season. So that's got to be decided. The winner-take-all final will be good for this event, but it's the winner of the high points that'll take it for the season, and that's what they're battling for now. The flag has gone out, checkered flag for the Miss Budweiser. First place. Second place goes to Smokin' Joe's Chip Hanauer with his 2nd win of the day. He has got to be very happy.
And the Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows the Miss Budweiser first, Smokin' Joe's second, Appian Renegade third, Miss J.N. Automotive overall fourth.
And for Tom Hinley in the Appian Renegade, that's his 2nd, 3rd place. Let's go down to the winner.
Chip, you got around Mark on the outside. You feel better now?
I never feel good till it's over. But it's a step. You know, it's a step in the right direction. So we'll just take it heat at a time and see what happens at the end of the day.
Well, they've got a couple of more heats to run, and we've got a lot more racing to go. Stay with us. We'll be back to Honolulu in a moment. Welcome back to Hawaii and the JN Automotive Hydro Fest. This is the final race of the 1995 Hooters Unlimited Hydroplane Series. The boats are leaving the dock now as we get ready for Heat 2B. Lots of competition, lots of action. But before we get to the racing, let's take time out for an Eagle Snacks Performance Corner with Chip Hanauer.
The top of an unlimited hydroplane is what gets all the attention. That's what you see on television. The most important part of the boat is this, the bottom. This is the working part of the boat. Think of the boat as nothing more than an airplane wing with training wheels. The majority of the boat being the wing, the sponson being the training wheels. The shape of the wing is determined by the curvature of the bottom. And as you can see, as you follow my hand as they move back, it gets shallower and shallower until it gets to this point, which is the flat spot. Where this flat point begins changes from boat to boat and is critical in where and how the boat handles. As we move further back, we have what we call the shoes. Now these help keep the back of the boat, the transom of the boat, up in the corner. As the boat comes out of the corner, the back end tends to settle. These shoes help it pick it up and accelerate. Of course, you've got to turn the boat, and to do that, we have a rudder. Now, believe it or not, the shape of these rudders haven't changed in 30 or 40 years. In fact, some of the hulls that you see running today probably have rudders that were built 20 years ago. There's not much change that's happened here. The part that we spend the most money, the most time, and probably gives us the most frustration is the propeller. There's 4 components of an unlimited hydroplane: a hull, an engine, a driver, and probably the most critical of those components is the propeller. It's what we spend the most time refining and testing. These propellers are built in our own shop by our own people, and we change many different things on them. The size of the propeller, the diameter, the shape of the blade, the pitch. And the pitch is the amount of curve on the propeller this direction. The other thing we change is the rate. That's the amount of curve this direction. All of those changes have a drastic effect, not only on the speed of the boat, but how the boat handles. If you get all those components working perfectly, the hull, the engine, the driver, and the propeller, the bottom of the boat brings you home a winner.
Now let's check the lineup for Heat 2B as they come down for the start, Dick. T-Plus engine treatment, Steve David, lane 1. Pico's American Dream, Dave Villwalk, lane 2. Outrigger with Scott Pearson, lane 3. And on the outside, Mark Evans and Miss Columbia Communications.
Green flag flies, and right off the green flag, the red, white, and blue boat, predominantly blue, Pico's American Dream to the right of your screen, has the lead going into the Aloha Stadium turn. Dave Villwalk out of Washington is really driving hard. There's the scene from inside the T-Plus. This is what Stephen David sees as he is now riding in 2nd place to the Picos. Picos in lane number 2, as Jim told you in the lineup. There you see the exterior of the T-Plus, and there you see the margin between 1st and 2nd place.
Boy, Pico's American Dream came off that corner down that back chute here at Pearl Harbor outside Honolulu, Hawaii, like a scalded ape, and now he's already down in corners 3 and 4. He's got a good speed going, Dick.
He certainly does, and the Columbia Communications boat is in a battle with Miss Outrigger, Mark Evans and Scott Pierce, respectively. There you see 1st and in second place, and it appeared that the T Plus was closing in a little bit on Dave Villwock in this boat, the Pico American Dream.
The Zodiac lap speed for lap number 1, Pico's at 1:53.
Good race speeds for these boats. There you see the leader, Pico American Dream, Dave Villwock. Right behind him and closing it down just a bit is the T Plus of Stephen David. There you see the shot, and he has now gone to the outside, so he is now riding in lane number 3.
He had the overlap, so Dave Villwock took the Pico's American Dream to lane number 1.
There you see T Plus still battling on the outside there. Looks like he's going to settle for second place if he keeps running where he is now. The Pico American Dream having a flawless ride. Dave Villwock likes this course because of the big wide turns that we talked of earlier in the show. It enables the boat to stay up on speed. You know, these boats are hitting resistance with that skid fin on the left side of the sponson that holds the boat in the water around the turn, but in order to do that, it has to resist against the water, and it reduces the overall speed. Look at this battle.
We're going to have a battle right now for second, because here comes Mark Evans in miscommunications, and he passes the T Plus, takes over second place at the conclusion of lap number 2, and what a shot we see from inside the cockpit of the T Plus.
We don't know whether T Plus had any engine problem or not. He didn't seem to lose speed, but it looked like Mark Evans found the speed in the Miss Columbia Communications boat. We had said earlier, he is capable of getting an awful lot out of these boats. He is doing that now, riding in second place to the Pico American Dream.
So it's Pico's, Columbia Communications, which we're looking at right now, and T Plus 1, 2, 3, and Miss Outrigger with Scott Pierce is in 4th slot.
There's T Plus still trying to get that speed up a little bit higher to get on the inside of Mark Evans. Mark right now is setting his sights on the leader, but he's got about a half a lap to go. It's not likely he'll catch him. There's the checkered flag going out right now. We're watching the battle for second place. There's your winner, Pico American Dream, Dave Villwock. He has got to be very happy with that win. There's the second place winner, if you will, and that's Mark Evans in the Miss Columbia Communications. Coming in third will be T Plus with Stephen David, and rounding out the field as we look through the windshield of the T Plus will be the Miss Outrigger with Scott Pierce.
So our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows it 1, 2, 3, 4 in that order, as the Picos now has gotten points towards the winner-take-all final.
Well, Dave Villwock is still looking for his first event final heat win.
David, you don't have to be in lane 1 to win. How's the boat ride?
Both running really good. Progressive Tool, Pico, got the boat running good. You know, it's got a better handling boat than a lot of the other boats, so we're able to run over the top of the rough conditions here, and really without any problem at all.
Let's find out the T Plus story. Jim Hendrick is with Steve David.
Steve, this was described as a T Plus course. What's happening?
We're having a real tough day trying to find a combination to win this thing like we did in '93, but the T Plus engine treatment team will get that combination back for the final.
And for Heat 3A, the Miss Bud and Smokin' Joe's have drawn each other again. We'll be right back.
Smokin' Joe's squaring off for the 3rd straight time. The Bud has lane 1. Smokin' Joe's is on the outside in lane 3, and in between is the Columbia Communications with Mark Evans, and the pace boat is the Appian Renegade with Tom Hindley as they go into the first turn the first time.
And it is the Miss Budweiser out in front. Boy, you would never know that 3 weeks ago that boat was destroyed with that driver aboard. Chip Hanauer came out of it uninjured, but boy, he just has so much faith in the rebuild of this boat by his crew that he doesn't even think about it. He puts the pedal to the metal and he goes for it, and that's what he's doing now. As you can see on the outside to his left, as you looked at the boats, was the Smokin' Joe's right there, and you can see that Mark has gotten that boat a little bit light. I don't know, they may have readjusted the wing status on that. They are letting the Miss Budweiser run as she is, and she's in on your Zodiac lap speed at 159 miles per hour.
Here's the Miss Columbia Communications, and you can see the outline of your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place boat. Quite a difference between 1st and 3rd. And Miss Budweiser has upped its speed to 162 miles per hour.
And this course is not the smoothest course in the world, and the wind is picking up. Here's Miss Budweiser coming across for another win today. This is the 3rd straight victory for the Miss Budweiser. That is going to make her very hard to catch in the points race, but Mark Tate will not give up yet.
This Budweiser has a 271-point lead with one more heat to go. As we look at our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard, it's the Budweiser, Smokin' Joe's, the Columbia Communications, and the Appian Renegade did not finish. They could be in danger of not making the final, Dick.
They are going to work hard to get that boat in there, but Appian Renegade right now sitting on the bubble. Just the opposite for the Miss Budweiser. Chip Hanauer and the Miss Budweiser crew are in great condition as they get ready for the final heat later today. We'll be back to a perfect day in Honolulu in just a moment. We are on Ford Island at Honolulu, Pearl Harbor. There you see the Arizona Memorial. A lot of reminders here. This is the actual air control tower that was standing during the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Solemn reminders, to be sure. But right now, the attention is turned to unlimited hydroplane racing, Heat 3B. And let's get the lineup.
It's Pico's American Dream, lane 1, Outrigger, lane 2. There's T-Plus engine treatment, lane 3. And on the outside, Miss Jan Automotive.
Pico's American Dream is leading out of turn number 1. There you see the shot that Steve David sees out the windshield of the T-Plus. You do not see Rooster Tails because he is on the outside of the lead boat right at the moment, and he is somewhat even with him. If you look just to the left of your screen, you can see Pico starting to pull away. That's the lineup as they come down, but look at as Steve David tries to close it in the T-Plus, but Pico's just has got great speed, and he's able to find that power when he needs it.
And Dick, just the opposite is true with T-Plus. As Steve David told us, they're not getting the right combination today on the saltwater course, but every once in a while he gets a burst of speed and challenges. He's currently in second place. Now you see the T-Plus trying to catch the Pico's American Dream, who has just set the Zodiac speed lap of 153 miles per hour.
Good ride for the Pico American Dream right now in the lead with T-Plus second. The Miss Outrigger with Scott Pierce at the wheel is in third place. And the JN Automotive boat, we noticed as it passed our position just moments ago, riding in fourth place, has got some compression stalls. So they're obviously not getting full power to the engine.
If you look at the course, you can see the whitecaps are starting to rise now as the wind conditions pick up. And that's one thing they do not need here on this course. But as long as it comes across the course, they're okay. As long as the wind doesn't come right on their nose down either straightaway.
They're watching those wind conditions as they go into the last lap now with Pico American Dream operating flawlessly. Dave Vilwalk has had an excellent day of racing. Second place is the T-Plus out of Pompano Beach, Florida. Driver Steve David. There's Pico's once again, Dave Vilwalk. And I got to tell you, in all the years I've known Dave Vilwalk, he is a flat-out driver. I mean, it either goes full speed or it breaks. There's Scotty Pierce, you saw moments ago, in third place, riding back in fourth place with a little bit of compression stall, some engine trouble. JN Automotive. If that boat just finishes, Appian Renegade will be bumped from the final heat. There's your checkered flag going out for Pico's American Dream, and here are the results.
The Loom scoreboard shows the Pico's American Dream winning the heat. T-Plus engine treatment second, Miss Outrigger third. Miss JN Automotive makes the final by finishing fourth.
David, that's your second victory of the day. Things have gone well for you. Now you get the big guys in the final. Have we seen everything you have?
No, I think we're going to, we'll put the big engine in, and see if we can't get that Pico boat out front for a change. See if we can put that red boat back a notch. Yeah, nobody's been able to do that today. It's got an awful powerful boat, but we'll give it a shot.